WWE Monday Night Raw. I was there with my lovely wife and friend of the show, even though we've never had him on. Michael Serrano, many of you know him, goes around. He's a producer, worked with us at the old NBC, but we were out there watching some wrestling, Shacker, and it was fun. And everyone else, and shout out to all the people around us. No one was courageous enough to say hi. I told them all week long, come say hi if you're one of your ticket winners. But I did hear them all. Oh yeah, we're here. We won tickets on the radio. Yeah. Well, you're welcome. It was fun, wasn't it? Got to see Cody Rhodes. Got to see Shinsuke Nakamura put through a table. Here's story time for you while you're listening before we get into full-on Blazer talk, because we were at that wrestling show, The Godfather and I. The Godfather, I think he left a little bit early. He likes to beat the traffic. I always stay. I do not, until I get booted out. I don't like leaving. All right, well, the show ended. They went off air. The cameras were off. And then Cody Rhodes grabbed the mic and he started talking to the crowd, which was pretty cool. It's always cool when they do that little extra. And then he said, I like to give stuff away. And he goes and he grabs a table, the chunk of the table that's busted in half after he and Shinsuke Nakamura went through. And he's like, I'm going to give this table away to someone in the crowd. And he legit did. He gave the table away. So someone went home with half of a busted WWE table, which made me laugh because I looked at my wife. I go, I'm sorry. If he would have given that to me, even if it were staged or not, it probably was. But if he would have given that to me, I would have framed it and put it up on the wall. And she's like, well, yeah, it's kind of a cool thing to have. So there you go. It's kind of a fun little thing. And hi, Tegan. Little Tegan's watching on YouTube, just like you should be watching on YouTube.com. Just type in Riv City Radio. Now let's get to the action. The Blazers, hey, after two terrible games in Dallas, and that is the nicest way of putting it. That's right. Think about that. 2 games in Dallas with the stop. They had a 126-97 loss, followed by a 139-103 loss. That is not good. All right. The wheels, they were wobbling. At least it felt like. And now the question was, okay, how do you fix it? How do you get this thing back where you need it to be? Right? We had talked all year long on this show that the Blazers finally have an identity. They finally have a way of play that you can just, set your watch to. It was every single game they're going to go out there and fight. They're going to make you work for it. They're going to play great defense. Might not win a lot of games, but they're going to be fun to watch. And then that kind of faltered over the last few weeks. And I feel like in that Brooklyn game, we as fans got it back, right? Because the Blazers went out there. Everybody played well. They fought hard. The energy was there. They didn't look tired or lethargic like they did in Dallas. And the result was a really good basketball game where they clawed back. They were in it all game long, get the lead late. Brooklyn was able to force overtime. And then instead of folding in overtime behind vets like Malcolm Brogdon and Anthony Simons, the Blazers picked up the 134-127 victory at Barclays Center. And some people might say it was just another win. Some people might say it was the best win of the year. It's not about sometimes who you beat. Like you go and you beat Phoenix at home, you're like, that's a great win. If you would have got one of those games in Dallas, you'd be like, that's a great win. This one, even though it was just the 16-21 Nets, that was a great win. Why? Because not only did you win, which obviously matters, but you did it going back and playing the type of basketball that I feel like we were accustomed to seeing in November, right? Hustle, heart, just nonstop defensive end. Offense is going to come, but you were playing the game that we kind of came to expect. And to come back to that after 2 terrible games in Dallas felt good. It felt good. In 29 minutes of actions, Toumani Camara had 6 rebounds, 5 points, a steal and an assist. Jeremy Grant rebounded after a bad game in the second of the back-to-back at Dallas. He had 27 points, hit a couple big shots. Duop Reith, 15 and 13, his first career double-double, Another good performance from him as he continues to show his ability as a true rotational big, and he's filling in that starting center role quite well. Anthony Simons, 38 points, 5 of 10 from deep, 11 assists. Only I think that was the third 11 assist game of his career. Only 3 times in his career has he had 10 or more assists, and that was one of them. Scoot Henderson, he didn't play the fourth quarter. That was kind of surprising. He played 30 minutes, but he didn't play in crunch time. In crunch time, the crunch time lineup was Simons, Reith, Grant, Kamara, and Shaedon Sharpe. And Shaedon Sharpe in 40 minutes of action dropped 21 points. He's doing well in that role. I like him as the sixth man right now. Like I don't know if that is, his long-term role, but right there, I like it. And I know fans are loving Duop Reith. He's up there with the Ibubaji, who deserves all the praise considering how they're playing and what they're being asked to do. He's playing much better than Ibubaji, but Ibubaji definitely deserves a little bit of praise as well. Yeah, okay, like I've told you guys before, this guy came in and he was going to be probably the sixth-string center, spend most of his time in the G League, and he got 10 minutes of action against the Nets. And he played well. All things considered. But when you go down the lineup and you see 6 players in double figures. Toumani Camara only scored 5 points, but he did a lot of other things. He is an interesting one because if you don't watch the game, you can just look at the box score and go, okay, well, yeah, he had 5 points, 6 rebounds. That wasn't that much of an impact. Now, he makes an impact because he does so many little things. Now, when Mikal Bridges hit the tying shot to send the game to overtime, who was guarding him? Toumani Camara. And I looked at Chad when it happened and I said, man, that was good defense. That was good defense. Mikal is just a stud and he made that shot somehow. It was beautiful. A little step back, floated in the air, waited and just until Kamara's outstretched hand was at a point where it couldn't get the ball, and then he let it fly. Boom, bucket. I don't think Toumani Camara could have played better defense. Except maybe get a block, right? Maybe. But even that would have been just a lucky part of it. Defensively wise, he played great. It was just a better shot sometimes. But then they go to overtime, and in overtime, the Blazers took care of business. And that's exactly what they needed to do. And you love that this team was able to will it together. They were able to go hit their big shots when they needed them, and they were able to leave with a win. They go in, Cam Johnson hits the first bucket of OT, and you're like, uh-oh, here we go. Blazers are down 3. It's going to come. We're just used to this. They get to this point, they're going to run out of gas. But nope, Jeremy Grant makes a bucket. Then Jeremy Grant makes another bucket, right? Then Anthony Simons makes a shot. Then Malcolm Brogdon makes a big three-pointer, followed up just a possession later by another big three-pointer. Big buckets on big buckets. Blazers outscore the Nets in overtime, 19-12. Grab the 134-127 victory. And, of course, there's just so many things. Like, you look at this game and you're like, yep, I like that. One being 52% from deep were your Portland Trailblazers. And this is a team that is not shooting well from deep at all on the season. But, as the math goes, when they shoot 50%, they usually are in a good chance to win the game. And they won this one. And, I mean, you can go through their wins and losses, and most of their wins happen to be when they're shooting pretty well from deep. Rebounds, they got beat, but assists, they got beat. Steals, they got beat. But that 3-point, that one came in handy. They still need to figure out one thing in the long run, and they're going to get tested tonight against the Knicks, and that is how to defend the paint without DeAndre Ayton. The Nets poured in 62 points in the paint to just 38 from the Blazers. And you can look at all these things. You're like, oh, the Nets won this category. They won that category. They won that category. There's a category I don't see on there, and that's fight. I don't know why it's not in there, but the Blazers had fight in this one, and you love to see it. You love to see it. Is this the catalyst that flips the season, and now the Blazers rattle off 15 in a row, and they're back in the playoff picture? No. We understand what's at hand here, but it's definitely okay to get excited because the team got a big win. And I like it. I like the way they played. I like the way that they didn't give up because I felt like in those 2 games in Dallas, the team just kind of mailed it in. And to not mail it in and get it going was nice. And now they get a chance to get a second win in a row against a new look New York Knicks team, now with OG Anunoby, right? And we'll break that down throughout the show as well. We're going to listen to Coach Billups once we get to the Coach's Corner. We're going to dive in a little bit on Scoot Henderson as well with What's the Scoot. You guys know the drill. We got plenty to get to. But when we come back from a quick little break, I think we're going to take the time to listen to Anthony Simons and Malcolm Brogdon after the game, hear what they had to say. And it is interesting when you listen to them because they put some praise on one man in particular. We're going to talk about that man throughout the show. You want to know who it is? Don't go anywhere because we'll hear from them when we return right here on Blazers Game Day on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620.
The best performing team requires the best workstations. What's the Scoot is brought to you by Office Furniture Reborn. Need desks, better office chairs, or just the right file cabinet? Office Furniture Reborn has a huge selection of colors and sizes to choose from. So drop by Office Furniture Reborn's huge showroom just off Pacific Highway in 217 or visit www.officefurniturereborn.com.
All right, welcome back into Blazers Game Day, and it is time for What's the Scoop? We don't have audio from him. That's okay. But we're going to kind of talk about what we got from him. And in that performance against the New York, not Knicks, that's who they're playing tonight, Burkhardt, against the Brooklyn Nets, he only had 10 points and 4 assists. Didn't turn the ball over much, only 2 times, which you do like to see. You like to keep that number down. But it was interesting because he wasn't going to get those numbers because the team was obviously going through Simons and Sharp, who were playing so well. And, of course, when Brogdon and Grant are hitting their shots as well, there's not going to be a ton for Henderson. And he wasn't distributing the ball as much in this one. Simons was doing that. Noticed by the fact for only the 3rd time in his career, he had 11 assists. So it wasn't necessarily a bad Scoot game as much as it was everyone else was just playing well, and he didn't need to have that monster game from him. But what was interesting is Coach went with the hot hands, right? The hot hands were Shea, they were Ant, they were Duop, they were Grant, and of course defensively you got to love Tamani Kamara. And so you didn't see Scoot Henderson in the fourth quarter or overtime, and this is what Coach Billups had to say when he was asked about it.
We were playing well. And like I said, we finally got some continuity. We finally got it going. It was nothing that he didn't do to not play, but you can't play everybody. You know how it is, and you get these two guys that are rolling. We just got to ride it out and see. Sometimes he's going to be one of those guys, sometimes he's not.
So there you go. Pretty simple. Sometimes he's one of those guys, sometimes he's not. And it makes sense because it's like you said, you got to go with the hot hand sometimes. And in a game that close, that's what Coach Billups did. He went with the guys who were playing well. And I know people like to read in to certain things, but man, that was nothing to do with Scoot, right? It wasn't, Scoot's playing so bad that we can't play him. We got to get him off the floor, put someone else in. It was just you had 5 other guys that were playing quite well. And with Matisse Thybulle not playing, you needed Tamani Kamara on that floor as much as possible because he's your best defender when Matisse Thybulle's not there. So that's why. Pretty simple, right? Pretty simple. Wouldn't read into it much. Hopefully has a nice bounce-back game tonight against the Knicks because I'd like to see it. I'd like to see Scoot go show out in, the mecca of NBA basketball, the Madison Square Garden, which a lot of people dump on saying it's a dump. I've only been there once for a Blazer game, and you know what? The nostalgia pop when you walk in, it's a beautiful, beautiful place. I do enjoy it. Now, Ant, like I said, had a pretty darn good game against the Nets. He's a very big reason why they won that game. 38 points, 11 assists, 3. Gosh, can I read and speak at the same time? Let's try that again, Burkhardt. 38 points, 11 assists, 5 of 10 from deep. You love to see that. And then, of course, 13 of 25 overall, 45 minutes. It was a big load for Ant in this one, and he shouldered it. We've talked all year long about this whole alpha thing, right? Who's an alpha? Is this guy's an alpha? I'm an alpha. Alphabet soup, whatever. Alpha, alpha, alpha. The Blazers needed one. Chauncey said they don't have one. Now, I don't think Ant will ever be the vocal alpha, right? That guy that rallied the troops, everyone around me, let's go, rah, rah, rah. But I think games like this one show that he has a different alpha in him, that alpha type to say, let's go, get on my back. We're going to go score buckets. We're going to make big plays. And you like that from him. And he did get a chance to talk to the media after the game.
So just your thoughts on the game, particularly the way you guys played in the fourth quarter and overtime to get this one.
We played great. We got stops when we needed to. Malcolm came up big for us. Shaden came up big for us. And I mean, when we needed a basket, so I'm just proud of those guys that when they was able to step up. Malcolm been here before, but especially Shaden in a big moment like that. He's had big shots before, but it's also another big shot for him, especially to get us up too. For quarter.
They double teaming you, trying to get the ball out of your hands late in the game. You kept making the right pass, whether it was to Shaden, whether it was to Malcolm. It seems like you're pretty comfortable with that because it seems like that's something you've had to endure before is teams really kind of selling out on you.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? It's just, it's very, I have no problem, passing out that double team, to guys that, any of the perimeter players, they're going to make a play. And that's just, especially for like young guys like Shaden, like that's just the maturation into the game. Being able to recognize in those moments that I need to go, or maybe not. And in that moment, we was trying to tell them to go be aggressive. There's nobody in the paint like that. And he went out there and did it and got a big basket for us.
What does it say about this group that you guys were able to kind of refocus and come out like this after the way the first 3 games of the road trip went?
It's obviously it's been up and down season, but I think we've pretty much stayed, together all through everything, even the bad nights in Dallas. We came in today with a fresh new mind, and it was, we got Dallas out of our heads, and we wanted to come in and play how we've been playing before Dallas. So we was able to do that, and that's how we came out today and got a win.
Did you just need a couple days to get right? Because you struggled out.
Yeah, I think in the first 2 games, the first game I didn't really notice it. People saw it on the thing, like we looked a little slow and tired. The second game in Dallas, I definitely felt it. I was getting tired quickly, and a little bit today, but I felt, I had no time to be tired. In today's game, you know what I mean? It was a close game, so I still feel a little bit, but I'm getting back.
And there you go. He's only feeling a little bit tired, but I do like how he mentioned how even during the downtimes, the two bad games against Dallas, that the team stayed together. They didn't waver, and that's good. You don't want to lose the locker room, lose your faith in one another. You want to keep rolling, so that's good. And then also, he mentioned Shea. He talked about Shea making the right moves, making the right reads, coming up big in crunch moments, and he did, because he hit the layup that put the Blazers ahead with just seconds to go in the game before Mikal Bridges would go out and tie the game right back up. But you like Shea having the guts, right, to go over and make that shot, take that shot. Also, the wherewithal and the knowledge to know, okay, I got to make sure it's a good shot too, because the fact that he had a wide open three with about 11 seconds left, and he knew that wasn't the high percentage shot for him. And on the miss, that's just going to give Brooklyn a ton of time to get back, right? So he kind of almost like hesitated, pump faked, wasn't a full pump fake, kind of got like the leg going, right? Got the defense back on him, then put the ball on the floor, got around the defense, hovered in the sky for what felt like forever, gets the layup in there, boom, Blazers lead. I like that. It's gutsy for what he did. I mean, especially when you got Jeremy Grant and Ant on the floor, and you know that the ball was put into Ant's hand, he's going to go probably be your guy. Nope. Shea said, I'm going to take this one, boys. You just sit back and you relax. Now, in overtime, it was big shot Brogdon, right? Malcolm Brogdon came up absolutely huge. Hit two big three-point buckets, basically put the Blazers in control the way they needed to be. He was the vocal leader. And as Chauncey said, he's kind of that coach on the floor for me. Like he's my voice on the floor. He came up huge. What's unfortunate is that Malcolm Brogdon's probably going to be a big trade piece for this Blazers team with the trade deadline now less than a month away, February 8th, right? Teams are going to want him. There's going to be plenty of playoff teams who will look at him and go, oh, yeah, that's a guy we want on our roster. He's going to help. But it's also nice to have him in Portland, all things considered, because I think he's been great for some of these young guys. And now I've said before, I think, you need a mentor for the young rookie, and I think that's overblown as all can be. However, I think when it comes to a guy that people can watch in that locker room, how they act professionally, how they play on the court and learn a thing or two, and when he speaks, they listen, Malcolm Brogdon fills that role. Like, it's incredible what he's done for some of those young guys. And then, again, wheels the team in tough situations like he did against Brooklyn. So let's take a second to listen to him following that game.
Malcolm, kind of start overall picture, just how much did you guys need this win tonight?
We definitely needed it. We've had some guys out. It's been hard to really get chemistry and, get us playing together as a cohesive unit. So to pull a win like this out, this is a team that's competing for a playoff spot. So that's a really good win for us.
And your mindset in that overtime, I mean, you were clutch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ant was really doing all the hard work for us. For me, it's a matter of doing what I do every day, shoot the ball. So that's my comfort zone. Ant was making the right reads every single time down the floor, and, we had to help him out.
Did you see the behind-the-back pass coming?
I didn't see that coming, but I saw a pass. I knew he was going to get it to me. I'd made one before, and he's a guy that always looks for me. He knows I'm a try to knock down shots for him. So, me and Ant have good chemistry for sure.
Just your thoughts on the way, especially with the way you guys have played the last couple games. What do you feel about the effort tonight, and particularly in the fourth quarter, late in the game? It seems like a lot of guys made plays.
I thought overall tonight, from beginning to end, we had a sort of a renewed energy, a renewed effort, and it lasted. We struggled this season, I think, because we're a young team, we're inexperienced, to put a full 48 minutes together. Tonight we were able to put 53 minutes together. So, I'm proud of this group, proud of these guys. I'm proud of the coaching staff for staying encouraged. I think Chauncey continues to do a great job with us. It's a young group. He's patient, but he pushes us. We're doing our best. We're gonna pull out more wins.
You were adamant about challenging that call too.
Yeah. Refs have a tough job too, and sometimes they miss calls. I was one of the ones they missed, and I was sure of that. Yeah.
Dwop Reith, his first double-double, which is surprising because he had that 25 and 9 a few weeks ago. What are the little things he does that you might not even see in a stat sheet like tonight?
Oh, man. I think his overall physicality, his overall IQ of the game, his feel. I think that's why he actually is so successful. I think he has a great feel, a great perspective on the game. He's able to make the right plays at the right time. He knows what shots to shoot, what shots to turn down. And then as far as, being a big and being a little bit undersized at the 5 position, he just plays position defense, position rebounding, all that. He knows what spots to be at. He has a good nose for the ball. So he's a high IQ guy.
For all the problems you guys had in Dallas, one thing that jumped out is that Ant and Sharp both struggled after coming back. Tonight they both go off and you guys win. And the offense is good. How important was it to have those guys back there?
Huge. Those guys, them and Jeremy are our best scorers on the team. So we need those guys really to step up every night. And like any team in the league, your best players, your best scorers don't step up every single night, but we're going to need those guys to do it most nights. So on nights that they don't, it's going to be hard to pick up the load, but on nights that they do, most nights, we're going to be a good team.
And there you have it. He knows who the scorers are on this team, and when they have it, the offense does look a little bit different, right? Yeah, when you got scorers, your team scores. Who'd have thunk? Pretty simple stuff, but it is nice to hear. And again, talk about the names that they drop in these post-game pressers. First, it was Shea from Ant, and then from Brogdon, it was Duop Reith. And he talks about his feel for the game and just his knowledge and knowing where to be and how to be there and making the right reads. And that's why he's been so successful early. And he absolutely has. Like we said, in that game against the Nets, 15 points, 13 rebounds, first career double-double, 3 of 4 from deep, 5 of 10 overall. It was a good game for Duop Reith. A very good game from Duop Reith. You love it. He has quickly become a fan favorite because he's coming out there and he's having big games like that. He's having big games like that. And when you take this guy who, again, you sign him early in the year, he's a two-way guy. How much is he going to play? Now he is on the floor in crunch time minutes in the fourth quarter and overtime. That shows you what Chauncey Billups thinks about him. Speaking of Chauncey Billups, we'll hear from him after the break when we head to the coach's corner. And, of course, you got the keys to the game coming up, Coors Cold Hard Facts, all the normal stuff here on Blazers Game Day. And if you want to get in on the chat, go to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio. You can join the chat there. And, of course, phone line, 503-248-0620. If you're out there, I'll get to you in a second. Chris Burkhardt here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620.
Coach's Corner with Chauncey Billups. Time for a brand new ride from Time Jeep of Portland. You won't believe the huge deals they're offering. With over 300 new and used vehicles to choose from, you'll find the perfect ride for your new adventure at Time Jeep. Find us just minutes away from the Moda Center off I-84 or visit timejeep.com. Drive with time.
All right, let's head out to the Coach's Corner where after the game in Brooklyn, Chauncey Billups talked to the media.
Yeah. Well, the one, you talking about the inbound where he missed that was a play that was the first time we ran that play. Obviously, it's, 1.3 seconds on the clock. There's not that much you can go to. But they did an excellent job of executing on that play. They really, really did. And Shaden almost made a miraculous play the way that he can. So I was just more happy with the execution, knowing that, hey, man, we just missed a tough layup. But Shaden was, he was locked in, and with them, again, trying to take and away, if they're going to put two on the ball, then we got to be comfortable wherever that ball lands at, I made an adjustment kind of late. The ball landed with two in the corner. He wasn't really ready to shoot that ball, so I sub got Malcolm in. You know what I'm saying? If that's what they're going to do, take him away. Let me get, some experience and some shooting in the game. And I thought that Malcolm and the guys did a great job of finding him.
Chauncey, you touched a little bit earlier on Malcolm Brogdon briefly, but big picture for the year, what has he meant for you guys, in the locker room and on the court?
Man, so much. Malcolm is I say it all the time, he's just a grown-up, man. He's a grown-up on the floor and off the floor. He's kind of like, our voice, if you will, or one of our, leaders that when he talks, you listen, and he's in a tough spot here, because he's coming off the bench, and sometimes he comes off to the bench and don't have the ball in his hands, and he's a point guard. But he said, I understand where we're at, I understand what we're doing. When he plays, he does things like this. He's always a plus player. So I'm just loving having him here. He's like an extension of me out there, and even in that locker room, he's just a leader. So his presence is felt every day. We're lucky to have Malcolm.
Scoot didn't play the final fourth quarter or overtime, right?
Yeah.
Is there a reason behind that?
We were playing well. And like I said, we finally got some continuity. We finally got it going. It was nothing that he didn't do to not play, but you can't play everybody. You know how it is, and you get these two guys that are rolling. We just got to ride it out and see. Sometimes he's going to be one of those guys, sometimes he's not.
Do you anticipate going back to Ant and Sharp starting?
No. I'm okay where I'm at right now.
Coach, Metum, he was a bit in a further trouble, but you put him back in at the beginning of the fourth.
Mm-hmm.
It shows the confidence you have in his mindset to be able to defend without falling.
Yeah, I'm very confident in Tumani, and I want him to always be aggressive. Even the last play of the game, Bridges hit a heck of a shot, but I put two in to guard him. He had a tough shot, but I thought it was good defense, and I trust Tumani, in those situations. Like I said, he's one of our better defensive players and rebounders, and he plays with the spirit that I have, with his toughness and stuff. So I thought he was good.
Coach, I know this is won by your team and their play, but we have sat here numerous times this year down the stretch and talked about how coaches' challenges on either side have played a role. It's the first time that I've heard cheers for Jason, who works in video, because you guys have some years of advantage tonight. How big of a role did they play?
Yeah, it's a big deal. I mean, it's so much that goes into those challenges. There's really a chain of communication that has to happen. The play happens, and then we review it behind the bench, with Jacob and Eli, and they'll kind of give me what they see, and then I just trust them. I trust them, and so every single time, if they give me the thumbs up, I'm going for it, even if we lose it. I trust them. They know the plays that we want to challenge, the type of plays. You look at, we did a good job of managing our timeouts today, so we had some wiggle room in those late game situations. And I thought they were excellent today. So that credit don't really go to me. That's to Jacob and Eli. Those guys were excellent.
And there you go. Coach Billups after the game in Brooklyn. And as Gary Hughes says, haha, joking. I know it's gray. I was just trying to, laugh with you after messing it up last time. But as Gray Hughes Investigates says, Brogdon would make a great coach. And man, does he not sound like a coach when he talks? Like, it is pretty incredible. He might have a future there one day at some level. He's obviously smart. And I find his voice to be incredibly soothing myself. It's like, oh, no, now I'm nice and relaxed. Thanks for that, Coach Brogdon. You're awesome. Awesome guy. But no, he is a coach on the floor for Billups, which is great. And I think he's teaching a lot to these young guys, which we also love to see. So love Brogdon. Love what we're seeing from Scoot. Now just hopefully they can play another game tonight, similar to the one that they saw in Brooklyn, because it was a good game there in Brooklyn. I have no idea what's going on this screen. Michael Shacker is trying. Oh, he's telling me stuff. Oh, look at, see, you know what? Michael Shacker tells me things mid-show. First off, he's flashing, like he's on Zoom with me, guys. This is how we're doing it today. He's on my little screen over here, and he's flashing his phone at me. Like, look. I can't read that. I'm trying to talk, but he sent me a text. And I think you guys are going to like this. All right? I'm going to tease you with it. We're going to give away tickets today because it's Trailblazers Ticket Tuesday. What? That's right, because last night I was at Monday Night Raw. Today's Ticket Tuesday. That makes sense. So you know what? Let's do it. First up, Victor, I know you're on hold. Stay there. I'll get to you after this commercial break. Does that sound okay? I think I'll do that. But, man, let's see. I'm trying to think of a good number that I like. I like 5. It's one of my favorite numbers. I wore it when I played sports. So caller number 5, 503-248-0620. You will win a pair of Blazer tickets. Let's see, what's he say? To see the Nets on January 17th. So caller number 5, 503-248-0620. You will win a pair of tickets to see the Brooklyn Nets January 17th live at Moda Center. Chris Burkhardt here with you on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620. All right, welcome back into Blazers Game Day, and it is time now for a scoreboard report. Not a lot to report because, Blazers got an early game today. No one has started playing yet, but this is what is on the slate at 4 o'clock. You got Sacramento in Detroit to take on the home of the best media dining in the game, the Detroit Pistons. You also at 4 o'clock have the Timberwolves in Orlando to take on the Magic. At 5:30, the Memphis Grizzlies, who will be without Ja Morant for the rest of the year, take on the Mavs. And at 7:30 in Los Angeles, as Chad would say, the Raptors take on the Lakers. And, of course, at 5:30, you got Blazers, Knicks at Madison Square Garden. One score that is final, though, that happened late last night. The Michigan Wolverines 34, the Washington Huskies 13. Michigan wins the college football championship. So shout out to Coach Harbaugh winning the title in his last game at Michigan. That's right. I fully believe he's going to be the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers within, the next couple of days. As for Washington, Kalen DeBoer still hasn't signed that contract extension. What's he going to do? The NFL might come calling because I don't care what you say about the Huskies. Hello, I'm a Duck. You guys know it. He's a darn good coach. And I think there's going to be some phone calls there to Seattle. All right, if you want to join in on the conversation, you can head to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio. You find us there. Also, 503-248-0620 is your phone number. Victor, I'm going to get to you in just a second. Miguel as well. And, of course, I want to remind everyone, if you didn't get the tickets, if you didn't win, we still have one more pair to give away before this show's done, so don't go anywhere. It'll happen at some point. I can't tell you when. Otherwise, you just leave and come back when it was time. It's going to be a secret, but we'll get out there. Now, let's go out to the phone lines. I got to get to Miguel here because Miguel not only won, but Miguel was at Monday Night Raw. What'd you think of the show, Miguel?
Oh, man. It was a late Christmas present from my mom. I just turned 30 on the 20th last month. And me and my brother, we went to SmackDown about 22 years ago with my aunt who passed away, rest in peace. We were super into it back then, and it was just nostalgic and a nice time to be with my brother. But we couldn't believe how much we actually got into it. We were there like, oh, man, I hope we know someone we know. I'm losing my voice. I felt like I was the loudest one there. I was starting Cody chants. I don't even know these guys, but I was, I like that guy too. I think I found a new favorite wrestler. I'm Instacarting right now, and I won Blazer tickets. And my dream is to be on the radio. I call in after every game. I call in and I listen to Les Brown, and he's my motivation. He was a disc jockey, and God told no all the time. And I know eventually I'll be on the radio, but I can't believe for calling in, 503-248-0620. I won some free tickets finally. I call in. I love talking about the Blazers, the Jets, and, God is good. I got some free tickets to watch the Blazers, and bless you, Chris. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, and congratulations. I'm glad you had fun at Raw, even though you didn't know what was going on. I'll tell you what, Miguel. I've been a wrestling fan for a long time like you, and I don't watch it anymore. I don't watch Raw and SmackDown every single day, but every single time they come to town, I got to go. It is a fun ticket, and even if you're not a wrestling fan, I highly encourage anyone going. It's a fun show.
Oh, 100%. When I don't have children yet, but I told myself this is definitely something. Thursday nights at my household, bedtime was 7:30 for us, but we could always watch SmackDown because SmackDown started at 7 and Raw was a 9 o'clock thing. So I was already against Raw. So I was, it was cool to be able to experience it live again, but to see Raw because that was the show we could never watch because of a bedtime. So not only did I get to see Raw live, I got to see it with my little brother, and who's 27 and bigger than me. But it was just a cool experience. And, I'm listening to the radio waiting for another batch, and it was, calling for Blazer tickets. I've never won tickets in my life. And, out of all the years I've been watching the Blazers, for some reason this year is my favorite year to watch them live. And it's not because the tickets are cheap. It's because they're playing defensive basketball. And I think it's beautiful. They're creating a beautiful foundation. So when they do get those two players to come plug in, the scoring, all we're missing is the effect of scoring. We got Ant. We need one or two more guys because the defense is there and defense travels, baby.
Absolutely. Hey, Miguel, I got to tell you, your energy is infectious. You are welcome back. Call in anytime. And congratulations on the tickets. Hope you have fun at the game.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Chris.
All right. Shout out to Miguel. That's awesome. A longtime listener, just waiting for his moment. finally wins some tickets. That's got to be a great feeling. And I'm glad you enjoyed Monday Night Raw. Like I said, guys, you don't have to be a wrestling fan. You get there. It's a show, and it's fun. I took my wife years and years and years ago when we were, still just dating. Never watched a day of wrestling in her life. Loved the show because she just likes athletes. And she's like, oh, my gosh, these people are so athletic. She liked watching the show last night, Miguel. She loved the women's tag team match, the Katana Chance. Also, Casey Catanzaro, a way better name. But she's like, oh, my gosh, the moves she can do, they're so fun. I'm like, it is. Wrestling's amazing. And then you get to chant for tables, and they bring tables out, and they put people through tables. Are you not entertained? It's absolutely amazing. All right, let's stay on the phone lines here because my man Victor has been waiting patiently. Victor, you're usually calling in after the game, but you're here before the game today. Welcome in.
Hi, Chris. It's nice talking to you. Thank you for opportunities. Yeah, because, I'm a dying fan, Blazer dying fan for 40 years. That's a long time. I am one of the pioneers, or beginners anyway. But, no matter what time the Blazers play, whether in the morning or night or, in Chicago or whatever, I have to tune to the radio. And besides, you are my favorite announcer or, radio guy. And when I see you on the YouTube, you look so nice, man. You look so nice. I mean, you look like a handsome man,
Oh, well, thank you.
But anyways, I was gonna. It's good. I feel, I feel really happy. I mean, very excited when the Blazers win. Sometimes, I mean, I know they don't win many games, but when they win, like last game, I get very, excited, and I kind of recover from the cold in the winter time. Very cold weather. It makes me warm. It kind of recover from the cold weather. But anyway, I was going to ask you some question. Maybe I ask you first, and what I was going to tell you later. But I was going to ask you the comparison between the New York and the Nets, because I think the New York, the New Yorks are a stronger team. But I just want to know your insight. I know about the, Randall and all of that, but I want to compare the two because they might, they might have a bigger challenge tonight. But I want to ask you later what you think about these two. But I was gonna tell you, Chris, I'm gonna give $100. That equal to $2,000 in Turkey. $100 US. Compared to $2,000 in Turkish money.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it to the. Believe me, I had a plan to do it. If the Blazers win tonight, I'm gonna give it to some needy people or some people. I go outside and give it to some people because the reason I tell you why, because I'm so sensitive about the Blazers, and the reason because the OG Anunoby. Yes, let me tell you why. When they got OG Anunoby, last week, they start winning, and the coach, Thibodeau, he mentioned so much OG Anunoby that they changed the Knicks, structure so much is unbelievable. And well, I want to get your opinion later, but I want to tell you something, Chris. You won't believe this one. It's a deja vu. You remember 2 years ago, you were one of the advocates, you and Chad doing. You said, okay, if we trade OG Anunoby with Ant Simon, you said, well, yeah, I mean, you approve on that if they trade just one by one, not give two players for one player.
Uh-huh.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you were approved on that, but I was not approved on that because, well, my main guy is what is Simon. Yeah, that no matter who comes in, no matter the best player in the world, I wouldn't trade it. But anyways, What I'm saying is that when I read about the OG Anunoby, man, he's a 3D player, and he's like 6'7", 6'8", tall.
He's big.
He's he's not 6'3", and he's 6'3". The Anunoby is 6'7", or he's much taller.
Yeah, here's the thing, Vic, and thanks for the call. Yeah, OG Anunoby, he plays big. He's a good defender. He shoots well. I think if you give him more of a chance and maybe even put him in more of a prolific offensive role, he can still go. But his key is defense. And you look right now, total on the year, 15 points, but he's averaging 1.1 steals. He gets the assist numbers. He gets rebounds. He does a bunch of little things, man, but he affects the game defensively like very few. And I love his game. Like you said, I talked about it. I would have done Ant 1-for-1 if they could have. I mean, I'm not in the conversation for what trades were happening, but I thought he was an impact player. I thought he was a guy that if the Blazers went and traded for, he could make them better. I think that's why, it was kind of rumored that Dame wanted to play with him. Absolutely. And so you're seeing what that means to a team like the Knicks, because, since they got him, they've been winning games. They are winners of 4 straight. They got a win over the 76ers, who are one of the top teams in the East. They got a win over the Timberwolves, who are one of the best teams in the West. So they are playing very well as of late, which is also answers your second question of the 2 New York teams, which one is better? I think it's the Knicks, no doubt about that one. They're truly a team that continues to build. They got good young talent. OG fits them well. Thibodeau is a defense-first guy, no nonsense. It's the Knicks. Are they a championship contender? Not quite yet, but I still think they can definitely make some noise. Thank you for the call. Shout out to Miguel for winning those WWE tickets, or excuse me, not winning those tickets, going to WWE, and then winning Blazer tickets. And if you want to win Blazer tickets, let's do it again, Shacker. Caller number 5. Caller number 5 right now, 503-248-0620, wins a pair of tickets for the game January 19th, I believe it is. That is right, against the Pacers. Right now, caller number 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at 503-248-0620. You will win a pair of tickets to see your Portland Trailblazers take on the Indiana Pacers live at Moda Center on January 19th. When we come back, it's time for your Coors Cold Hard Facts. Chris Burkhardt here filling in for the boss man Chad Doing on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620.
Hey Brandon, just got a call from the lady in Laurelhurst. Says stinky nasties are bubbling up in her basement.
That's not pretty. Most likely her sewer line is clogged with tree roots.
How do you know?
Been there. A lot of homes in the area, the sewer lines are all made of terracotta.
Oh, like Mom's flower pots.
Same stuff. After all these years, the pipes break down, tree roots find their way in, and weave a nasty clog.
Makes sense. The customer said her neighbor just had their whole yard torn up, replacing the sewer line.
Yikes, that's an expensive mess. We'll run a camera down the sewer line to verify. But if their sewer line is bad, we can get everything fixed and flowing without trenching up her hydrangeas.
That'll make her happy.
And for a fraction of the cost her neighbors paid.
Even better. That's my brother Brandon.
And that's my brother Derek.
We're Apollo Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling.
We're the guys you want to call when something's leaking.
Or when you're too hot.
Or when something nasty's bubbling up in your home.
Ew.
Does your thermostat say 72 but feels like it's 62?
It's a darn good sign your house is drafty.
Do you know your home's air leakage number?
For $179, Revival will lug over our Jet Revive 3000 blast fan,
creating a super suction throughout your home. Thermal cameras will pinpoint exactly where cold air is wisping up your walls.
Our proprietary heat loss calculator will give you your air leakage number.
Sealing up your drafts is your first step in home comfort.
Find out your air leakage number.
Log on to callrevival.com
and revive your home's comfort.
You want the truth? It's time for the Coors Light Cold Hard Facts, presented by Frost Brewed Coors Light, made to chill.
Welcome back into Blazers Game Day. It is time for your Coors Cold Hard Facts. Fact number one, I like to keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it till you all accept it. And that is Scoot Henderson's getting better. He's getting better. I love the way he's been playing lately. And yes, he only had 10 points and 4 assists against the Nets. But like Chauncey said, his usage and minutes were limited because of what other guys were doing. It had nothing to do with him playing poorly. It was just everyone else was playing well, playing hot at the right time, but he is getting better. And just keep in mind that he is not a score-first guy. He's going to be a pass-first guard in the long run. I mean, they did play that game against Dallas, and look at Jason Kidd. I mean, Jason Kidd wasn't the most prolific of scorers, but he could throw assists with the best of them, right? If he's anywhere near that, I mean, that's a pretty good point guard. Now, do I think he's going to be a Jason Kidd? No, because Jason Kidd was very unique in what he brought to the table. But, man, Scoot's going to be unique in his own way. I personally love what we've been seeing from him. Absolutely love what we've been seeing from him. Another Coors cold, hard truth for me is that DeAndre Ayton better watch out. And because the way Duop Reese playing, man, the Blazers might say, oh, we need to find a way to get off this deal because we like Duop Reese. Am I saying that he should be the center? No. But I am saying that when opportunity knocks, you don't knock back. You fling that door and you run through that opportunity, man. And that is what Duop Reith is doing. I love the fact that this guy is on a two-way deal. Wasn't meant to be much because you were – I mean, come on. You walked into this season going Ayton, Williams, and then probably Jabari Walker for your small ball lineups. And right now you're starting Duop Reith, and all he's doing is going out and scoring 15 points and grabbing 13 boards, shooting 5 of 10 from the floor while doing it, including 3 of 4 from deep. I don't know about you guys. Oh, 3 blocks as well. No small potatoes. I don't know about you guys. I really like Duop Reith. Do I think he's like the starting center in the future? Do I think he's a true starter in this league right now? No, I don't. But I love him. I love his game. Love his game. How can you not root for him? And another cold, hard fact is, first off, Gray Hughes investigates over there on YouTube. Says we need to do a little networking. We should have more people watching on YouTube. Well, yes, we should, but it is also, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. People are at work. A lot of people like to listen in their car. But then I give away tickets and the phone lines light up. That means people are listening. They're just not liking and sharing and subscribing. So y'all need to go to YouTube, type in Rip City Radio, like, share, subscribe. Help us out. Maybe we'll start giving out ticket giveaways on YouTube only. You never know. You never know. It's a fun way to tune in and listen. I'll tell you that much. Then you can call in like Victor and say that I'm a handsome fella. I'm truly questioning Victor's ability to gauge whether someone is handsome or not. I don't know if I fit the criteria, but apparently YouTube says I do. All right. Now let's head out to the phone lines again real quick. And if you want to jump in on the conversation, you can. 503-248-0620, where we talk to Evan, who just won some tickets just like our man Miguel and wants to talk Blazers. Evan, the floor is yours.
Man, first, I want to say a couple things first, but thank you so much for the tickets. You know, it's great to be able to support, you know, your local team.
You know what,
I really
Evan?
appreciate everything you guys do.
Evan, I got to cut you off and say no. I got to cut you off and say no. Thank you. Because you wouldn't win tickets if you weren't listening. So thanks for listening, my man.
Oh, man, I love, and when people make fun of me all the time because I'm listening to AM radio, but I'm like, you guys don't understand there's free sports talk going on. And you guys are listening, you know, to the Sirius XM and paying for that. But I'm like, right here, local, man. Just tune in local. But I also want to say thank you to you, man, because I also know how hard it is to carry on a show like this by yourself. No co-stars, and you're out here just talking away, man. That's really challenging, so kudos to you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so now I'm going to get into the beef of it, and I'm going to come at this from a different angle. We get a lot of people calling, talking about how much they love the Blazers, but I want to come from a different angle, man. Every time, you know, I turn into a Suns game, I see, you know, Eubanks doing well or Little doing well, you know, and I'm just like, was that a coaching mishap on the Blazers side, or do you think that it's just a system thing and they're fitting in better in the new system?
Well, I mean, I thought Eubanks was playing pretty well for the Blazers, and Little, it was just more of a run of bad luck, right? It was the COVID, it was a concussion, it was an injury, but he was really rounding into form. But I think you're right. He's getting used just a little bit better in that lineup, getting a little more consistent minutes, and he's playing really well. And that happens sometimes. I mean, sometimes you see players who aren't playing well in one spot, they get to another spot, and boom, they explode. I mean, granted, he was playing behind Nikola Jokic, but Nikola Jokic wasn't the Jokic he is now at the time. But look what happened to a guy like Yusuf Nurkic when he got to Portland. He was used a little bit different. Next thing you know, he started playing some incredible basketball. So as my man Grandpa Simpson would say, I think it's a little of column A and a little of column B.
Yeah, and, you know, I love seeing them be successful no matter where they go, because in the end, you know, it's great to see. And I'm a Thunder fan too, and I see Kevin Durant, man, and part of me wants to hate him, but the other part of me is like, you know what, go get yours. Same with Damian Lillard, man. I want to see him get a championship because that man deserves it for everything that he put in for us. And I get it, the Blazers couldn't do it, but he definitely deserves a championship.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him win one.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, I really, really appreciate the tickets, and I appreciate your time. Like I said, I'm a long-time listener, and I always listen to you pregame, so I'll keep on listening, and I'll keep sharing the knowledge of this station, how it's free radio that people need to tune into.
There you go, man. Evan, thanks for the call, and congrats on winning the tickets once more. And you're right. Yeah, share the love. It's free. Like you said, free radio. You don't need a subscription to tune in. All you got to do is have a radio in your car, a radio at your house, a smart device where you can just say, hey, what's your name? I don't want to yell her name because I don't want to, start all of your devices at one time by accident. Oh, you just got to say her name, say play Rib City Radio. She'll do it. You can grab your phone and you grab it, just download the iHeartRadio music app and you can listen there. And guess what? Like Evan said, it's all free. It's all free. You know what else is free? Going to youtube.com, typing in Rib City Radio. That's free too. Unless you're guys like Chad and I who spend way too much time on YouTube to begin with, and so we had to give them our $10 a month to go premium because we couldn't be bothered by those YouTube ads. All right, but YouTube's free still. Go there, YouTube Rip City Radio, and maybe you'll have a chance to talk to us, win some tickets. You guys are wonderful, and there is no excuse. I said some people are at work. The Orb says, "Hey, I'm at work and I have this up," so. Kudos to you. I do that at work sometimes too. I always have YouTube up when I'm at work, and it's just a headphone. I cannot work efficiently without background noise. I always have to have background noise. Sometimes I go through like history on YouTube. I'm like, oh, that's the video I watched today. I have no idea what that was, but hey, background noise. It works. I'll be your background noise. I promise. I've been told I make good background noise. Get you through the day. We'll do it right here, Rip City Radio. We're going to take our final break though. When we come back, going to give you our keys to the game, get you ready for this matchup against the New York Knicks. And then we're going to toss it over to the boss man, Chad Doing, who's filling in for Mike Lynch today on the Blazers pregame show. And then 4:30 tip-off Blazers Knicks right here on your home of the Blazers, Rip City Radio 620.
Godfather, here we are. Another year has come and gone. Just think of all the games we've watched, all the radio shows, and the time spent together. I can't believe how quickly it goes by.
I love the new year. A fresh start, a time to throw out the old and bring in the new.
Hey, now, you don't have to throw everything out. I'm a good friend. You can't replace me.
Well, okay, I'll keep you. More like get rid of the habits and stuff that don't bring value to your life.
And work towards having the best life you can, which starts at home. Stop waiting to make your living room the way you have always wanted it. Right now, during the Lazy Boy year-end sale, save 20% off store-wide.
Plus, keep your money in your pocket by shopping with 0% interest for 36 months.
And the best part is, you don't have to know how to put it all together. The Lazy Boy designers are there to help you create your new room.
Kick the year off right. Shop at Delta Park, Tualatin, Clackamas, Tannisbourne, Salem, and Eugene.
Happy New Year. Happy new room.
Lazy Boy, long live the lazy.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Welcome back into Blazers Game Day. Chris Burkhardt here filling in for Chad Doing. And if you miss listening to him, don't worry. He's going to be right here on Rip City Radio in about, 12 minutes? Because he's going to have the Blazer pregame show for you, filling in for Mike Lynch. Then, of course, 4:30 Blazers Knicks right here on Rip City Radio. And you can come back on YouTube and the iHeartRadio music app, however you listen to the show, because the fifth quarter after the show as well. Got plenty to talk about. But now let's get to the keys, though, because all we're worried about really is, can the Blazers get a win in Madison Square Garden? As I said, the Knicks winners of 4 straight, looking to make it 5. The Blazers winners of 1 straight, looking to make it 2. Can they do it? It's going to be tough. Now, the Knicks, they don't have Mitchell Robinson, who's likely out for the year dealing with an injury, but they do have a new look, and they do have a new young player in OG Anunoby who's fitting in quite well. And that's going to be a task because he is a defensive guy. And if you want to go get steals, he's going to go do it. So the Blazers, got to take care of the ball, right? We had games over the last few weeks where Scoot would go have 7 assists, but he'd have 6 turnovers. You need to have more of those 10 assists, 1 turnover nights. Take care of the ball because OG Anunoby is going to find ways to get him. He's going to get him to the ball to his playmakers if he does, and that's going to lead to easy buckets. Secondarily, box out, rebound that basketball, as the cheerleaders say, okay? Because the New York Knicks, they are 5th in the league, averaging 45.4 rebounds per game. It's going to be a tough task for the Blazers. Blazers 25th in the league, averaging 41.6. I mean, that's only a 4 rebound difference, but we're talking about the 5th best team versus the 25th team. And when those two match up, you can see a rebound discrepancy in it if you're not ready for it. So this is going to be one of those games. I mean, Duabrief coming off his 2nd career double-double is going to have another one of those games where he's rebounding the ball effectively. And then my 3rd key to the game, simple. I want to see the ball flowing. I want to see those assist numbers up. I know that sounds like, well, yeah, everyone wants to see that. Well, the Blazers just haven't been very good in that category all year long. All year long, they have struggled when it comes to dishing the ball, but they've had a very few games where they do it quite well. They're averaging just 22.6, which is dead last in the NBA. Dead last. Against Brooklyn, when they got the win, they had 21. Now, if you take away the 11 from Anthony Simons, that team had 10 assists, right? So I want to see just a little bit more ball movement from just the point guards, right? Like, I don't want just Ant and Scoot and Brogdon to lead the way in the assist numbers. Looking back at that Knicks game, Duabrief, yes, he's not a passing big man in the truest sense of the word, but he only had 1 assist. Jeremy Grant, 1 assist. Tamani Kamara, 1 assist. Shaden Sharp, 1 assist, right? I want to see those numbers even if he all gave me 2, I'd be happy with that. Ibu Baji, Chris Murray had 0, right? Again, those aren't passing guys, but I just want to see the ball movement around. So maybe some of those guys who aren't getting a lot of assists normally get a few extra just as proof that, hey, this is what happens when the ball starts spinning around. I think if you move the ball around, make crisp passes, make smart passes, you make it just a little bit harder on that New York Knicks defense. And if you get a lot of assists, well, obviously, that means you're getting a lot of buckets, right? You need to do that. And of course, I think another key, I don't usually do 4, but this is the 4th one. Sounds stupid, but I'm going to give it to you. Hit those 3-pointers, okay? They hit more of them against the Brooklyn Nets team. They shot at a high clip. They made a lot of them, hit over 50%. You do that again, you're going to put yourself in a good position. Now, if you do all the things that I just said, are you going to win the game? It's not guaranteed, but you are guaranteed to give us an entertaining basketball game. That's what we want. Nice, entertaining basketball game. Now, I said Mitchell Robinson out for the Knicks. Latest on your Portland Trailblazers, this according to Casey Holdall. DeAndre Ayton with his right knee and Jabari Walker with his left knee are both out. And it sounds like Matisse Thybulle foot is a game-time decision. Either way, same starters as last game. So there you go. That's the update today. DeAndre Ayton, according to the reports, and obviously since he's listed there, he's with the team right now. That's what we're hearing. And that means hopefully he can make this return on this road trip, get back in there. He's missed quite a few games, and I think the Blazers are missing him. I like DeAndre. I'm still not out on him. I know some people are. I like him, and I think they need him. And when you put DeAndre Ayton back in that starting lineup, that means you can move Duabrief back to the bench. And if you give me Duop, Reith, and Shaden Sharp coming off the bench, that means that your bench is going to have a little bit of a scoring punch. And I like that. I like the fact that you can have some scoring off that bench. Of course, with Malcolm Brogdon as well, that means that, maybe your bench is going to get in there and not give leads away, which is exactly what you want from your bench. You either want your bench to hold the leads or make leads better, or if you're down, claw back. You don't want them to make leads, other teams' leads bigger, and you don't want them to lose leads that they have. All right, that's pretty simple. Now, Shaden Sharp, guys, I am going to tell you what. I really, really like him in this position that he's been in since coming back from his little minor injury, and that is coming off the bench. Now, he started all but the first game of the season for the Blazers prior to that, but right now he's coming off the bench. In that, he's averaging 15 points. He's shooting the ball at about 40%. You would like that number to get up, but I do like the fact that he offers that scoring punch off the bench, right? I feel like you're getting to a point where you can almost really have confidence that he's going to go out there and get you, those 15 points that he's averaging, if not a few more. The low-scoring games seem to be more of the anomaly now than the high-scoring ones, which is nice. And I like that scoring punch off the bench. It also allows you to continue to build that starting lineup of Ant next to Scoot, which I really like. Oh, let me put the team's best shooter and their second best shooter in Jeremy Grant with the team's best assist man. That can only lead to good things. I like that a lot. Okay? And then in the long run, we'll see where it goes. But for right now, I love it because it means that Ant can be the vet to Scoot on the floor. And then when you go full second rotation, you have Brogdon and Sharp on the floor. If you do the other one where people are saying, well, you like Malcolm Brogdon on the floor, get the vets out there, that means your main rotation has Ant and Brogdon, and then you're bringing your rookie and your second-year guy off the bench with no true vet to lean on in that backcourt situation. So I like the balance they have right now for developmental purposes, at least. In the long run, where it goes, we'll see. We'll see. Like Kirk says, my starting five, Scoot, Ant, Sharp, Reith, Ayton. That'd be interesting. Well, that would be an interesting lineup. I mean, you go Twin Towers on them. I mean, I know I like Jeremy Grant shooting as much as the next guy, but if you put Reith